This is Third Phase of Moon. Welcome back, everybody. Blake Cousins here, taking your calls from around the world. What an amazing place to be right here with everybody tonight. Thanks for joining me. And it is quite amazing what we do right here at Third Phase of Moon. We've been doing it for years. We've been taking tens of thousands of calls in regards to what does an alien look like? What's it like to be abducted by UFOs? Frankly, what does a UFO look like? Well, right here at Third Phase Moon, over the years, taking tens of thousands of calls from the public, just the way we like it. We love speaking with the public. That's where you get the information. You know, we see a lot of TV shows out there, a lot of people on YouTube trying to be like Third Phase of Moon, but nobody does it like Third Phase of Moon, speaking to people from around the world, telling their stories. Quite amazing. We have a lot of people calling in from the world. We are going to be getting to them. I just wanted to thank everybody who's joining us tonight. We got people from the UK joining us. We have Kevin Carty from the UK tuning in right now live. So when I say the world is listening right here at Third Phase of Moon, I mean it. I mean it. All right, so let's get to it. If you've got something you want to share tonight right here at Third Phase of Moon, all you have to do is press number 1 on your keypad, and you'll be taken straight to the top of the call list. And the phone number to call in is 347-934-0378. And don't forget, we also do this on Fridays, every Friday night, taking your calls from around the world. So let's bring in the callers right now. Let's go to area code 214. Right now, we are live. We'll see how long we could go. We have a lot on our table tonight, this Monday, but let's get to callers. Hello, you there?
I'm out. Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
All right. Where are you calling in from? What's your name?
My name is Edward. They call me Ed. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
All right, Ed. Well, welcome to the show. You want something? You want to share something with the world tonight?
Yeah. I have had a few experiences, but I was living in Wichita Falls. Yeah, that's on the border of Oklahoma and Texas. But now I live in Dallas. But I was living in Wichita Falls, and my workmates were talking about, like aliens and UFOs and stuff. Personally, like I haven't seen one, so I'm not gonna say I don't believe in them, but I just haven't seen one. So yeah, I mean, we're talking about it, and he was like, oh yeah, I've seen one. My friend's seen one. My uncle seen one. So I'm like, well, until I see one, I'm not gonna believe in it. So
sure. Sometimes it takes seeing is believing in most cases. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've had a couple of stories. My friend has seen one and other stuff, but I personally haven't seen one, heard one, or anything like that. So we're talking that day at work, and then at night, I went to sleep, right, and then it was weird because I know I wasn't sleeping, but I was sleeping on the couch, and I think I had a dream, but I'm not sure if it was a dream or something else, but I was literally like, I felt like I was awake, but I was like taken like in this operating room or something like that. So, and then it was just I was sleeping on the couch, and then I just kind of woke up on the operating bed, and then I saw 3 faces, but they're like kind of gray and blurred out. But I'm like, okay. So like when I was laying there, I felt like I was kind of in danger, like I was in real danger. But I was just like on the bed looking up, and everything was blurry, and I couldn't see like any faces, but they looked kind of gray. And then the one on the right side came over to like my shoulder, and then I kind of saw like an alien figure, like the typical alien figure, like the big eyes and the face and everything. So I I was
Well,
literally like that was.
what makes you think? So this is during maybe a dreamscape. What makes you think it wasn't a dream? Because a lot of people are saying that alien abductions, they've been abducted while they're sleeping in their dreams. What makes you think it isn't a dream?
Well, that's the thing. Like the coincidence is it happened the same night, the same day we're talking about the aliens. I'm like, oh, I don't believe in it, so I'll believe it until I see it. So I mean, I follow you guys. I love you guys on Third Phase. I've followed you guys from a long time, and every story I hear gives me the chills because, I mean, I have dealt with some paranormal stuff and I believe in that, but I just don't believe in I mean, it's not like I don't believe in them, but I have to see a UFO and to really believe in that.
Well, you know what? I got a feeling you're going to be seeing a UFO. It takes a while, but if you're looking up and you have an open mind and you're susceptible to it, and you have the what to see, I got a feeling you will see one. So, hey, man, appreciate the call in. Appreciate the call in this Monday night.
All right, thanks so much. Thanks.
Well, there's he's not the only one that people have this phenomenon. When they go to bed, some people think that when they dream about gray aliens or they see something that they can't explain in their dreams, that it might be an alien abduction. And I'm not saying it isn't. It very well could be, especially if they happen on a multiple case-by-case scenario. If you have dreams over and over of the same thing, I got a feeling there's something going on. There's something going on. Okay, 913, we're live, Third Phase Moon. How you doing tonight?
Am I on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're on. Where are you calling in from, sir?
I'm calling from Kansas.
All right, welcome to the show. What's your name?
So like the last guy, my name is Grant.
All right, Grant. Yeah, go ahead.
I watch your YouTube videos a lot, by the way, and I have to say that you make a lot of good stuff, but this is stuff that it's hard to talk about with normal people, you know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
I've had, much like the last guy, I had a dream, something similar. I've been a long time believer. My father's a believer. I'm a believer. And I've seen only one time I've ever seen a UFO, and it was near a park where I used to live. It was just lights in the sky that couldn't have been a drone. Back then there was no drone technology like that. That wouldn't have been some black ops tech. But not sure. It was about shortly after I had a dream where I was taken and this was about the third dream I've ever had, but it was the most realistic one. I was on some sort of vessel. It was blacked out. There was very intricate doorways. And I was in the center of a room which had a doorway in front of me, behind me, to the right of me, and to the left of me. They came up into points where the doorway would have been, and the rest was some sort of black metal with some weird inscriptions on it. And it was like I was asleep in my dream. But I woke up on an operating table, much like the last guy said, except it wasn't an operating table. It was like an examination table. And I'll never forget what I saw. It was these things. They were. I've tried to look through lists of what you could find online, but I could never really find something that wasn't Zeta Reticuli type stuff. But they were green. They were dark green in nature. That was their skin, and they had bulging veins in their forehead and their arms that were light green. They only had 3 fingers, as you would imagine it. Take your hand and put your thumb and your pinky together, and that's what you would see. You would only have those 3 fingers left. And they had thick black eyes. They were almond shaped, kind of like what you normally hear, your typical gray, but they weren't gray. And I'll never forget that, because in my mind there's this universal look of, oh crap. And I woke up on this table and I looked up at them and I smiled at them, and they looked at each other, and then one of them pushed something on the table, and it's like I got some sort of anesthetic, and I was back out in no time. And I woke up in this other room. It was dark, and it had some sort of mist in it. There was a tall door. And what came through that door...
Let me ask you this. So you're saying that this might have been a dream, but then you're waking up within a dream? That's weird. I've never had a dream where I wake up in a dream.
To give you a history, for the last 6 or 7 years straight, I've had more than 3 dreams a night. I know a lot about what a dream feels like, and this didn't feel like a dream. It felt like a lowered state of consciousness. Something
so do you
that
think
you would be awake,
physically,
but you wouldn't be awake.
Do you think you're physically transported somewhere? You were physically abducted?
I do, and I don't think that time applies in the way that humans think it does. I think there's a very real way that someone can alter not only your sense of time, but the rest of the way time flows.
Almost like a dream. Like dreams last for split seconds, but they could seem like they last for hours. So what you're saying is quite interesting there. That when you're abducted, time is no relevance.
Exactly. And what made it very weird was at the end of it, I was in a dark hallway. Like I said, there was a very tall, what in my mind seemed like how an old school oak door would look? But I could see something through this veil of what I wanted to see. On the other side, the door would open, and all of a sudden this weird, you've seen War of the Worlds, right? You've seen the probe that came into the basement.
Sure. Yeah.
One similar to that came in with an extremely bright blue light. And when it shined in my face, I lost all inhibition to do anything. All I wanted to do was follow that, and I followed it out in the hallway, and what I remember was seeing many more people. There was 8 or 9 more people in that hallway, and we were all walking towards some sort of, the only way I knew, what I felt in my mind was I was going back. And this isn't the first dream I've had of things like that, but it all started after I saw that one UFO. The only way I can describe it, and I don't want to call it a UFO because it went down into a lake near a park I used to live by.
A USO. A USO. It's weird, too, because you know what's amazing is when I had my first UFO encounter at a young age, I immediately had a dream about UFOs, but the dreams felt so surrealistic that it almost didn't seem like it was a dream. And it felt like I was on the coast of Hawaii on a beach, and this massive flying saucer came over, everything lit up, and the whole family was being abducted. It got real bizarre. But what's amazing to me is that, immediately after you see something possibly not of this world, you have these out of this world experience dreams that might be connected. They might be sending us messages and communicating with us.
Right. Well, to give you a little history of my past, I've had some sort of spiritual experience, I guess is what you would call it. I used to have when I was a child, because they didn't quite understand what was going on, I would say that I saw and talked to these beings that weren't there, and at the time I referred to them as rainbow people. When my parents would go to bed, there would be a bright flash outside my window, and these human-like figures would walk up the stairwell, because I slept you would walk up the stairway, turn to the left, and then you would turn and make another left, and it would go down a hallway, and in that hallway is where I slept. And if you kept going, that was my parents' room. And they would come just to the top of the stairwell, and they would sit there, and it was like they were having a conversation with each other. And I tried to tell people about it, and the only way I could describe it was they were just bunches of different lights, like a bunch of different colors made up into some humanoid figure. But I've had these experiences all my life, and shortly after those started happening, many other weird things started happening. When I was 6 years old, I was at a Walmart, and a very professional, I can only remember this as a very professional-looking lady came up while I was in my cart. My mom went to go look at some dresses, and she was no more than maybe 5 feet away from me, but she left you know how Walmart is. They have that area where they have the clothing and stuff, and it's real packed. She set me out in that the big walkway that parallels that, and some lady just came up and started pushing me off like I was her kid. And I remember trying to yell to my mom, but I couldn't. And then all of a sudden, some people came up and grabbed that lady and took her away. I've never seen her again. And it's just, there's a bunch of weird things that have happened, but ever since then, I've always been treated, you know what I mean? This is one of the first times that you try to talk to people about this, because at the end of the day, I've been having dreams lately. In the past 2 years, I've had dreams that feel so much more real than reality that I can't tell the difference. And it starts to rack your mind, so you want to risk everything to start trying to talk to people and start trying to figure out an answer, because at the end of the day, there's almost 8 billion people of us on this sender. You know what I mean? Somebody has to know.
Absolutely. Somebody does. Somebody does. And you know, the word is getting out. The word's getting out. And with callers like you, sharing your experiences, making people believe that they're not alone with their experiences, because, man, if you have these kind of experiences, you might think to yourself that you're going nuts. I'm crazy. But then when other people hear other people's experiences, then they start to go, wait a minute, I'm not alone here. There's something going on. There's a phenomenon going on, and it's real, people. It's very real.
You think we're the only people in this universe. You literally have to be crazy.
If you think we're the only people in this universe, or the only intelligent life in this universe, people, start thinking to yourself that big question. All right, we got a lot of callers in. It took some guts. It took some guts for that guy to share his story. Everybody, stand by. Blake Cousins, Third Phase Moon. We'll be getting to callers. We'll be right back. Third Phase Moon, we're live. We are back. And let's go to some breaking news just in. I think we got F1. He wants to break it down for us right here at Third Phase Moon. F1, you there?
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
All right. We're live. What's going on? There's a portal, some kind of photograph out there. I'm not sure if I could gain rights to this photograph. I've seen it floating around the internet of what looks to be some kind of dome over Europe. People are saying this is some kind of maybe CERN opening a portal of some kind. But wow, we got to get rights to this photograph. What's break it down? What's going on, F1?
I'm going to try to give you the quickest, most accurate, most prevalent news. A couple things just to validate. At CERN, remember I told you a while back that it's very disconcerting to me that they have, as a chosen symbol outside their institution, the goddess Shiva, which is the goddess of destruction, and also correlates with the blueprint plans on how they were able to design the Hadron Collider that they're using. What happened is there's a small group of people there that within their employees that are called the family. The head of the family there is referred to as the father. The father figure in this case isn't a man but a woman. A couple Thursdays ago, they brought up the Hadron, or I believe a Hadron Collider, it's rated to go to 30 on the scale that they use, and what they did is the people that are part of the family all got a message while they were there working that it's meet in the living room, which is a big space inside there, and they were instructed that they were going to do an experiment, and some of them were very concerned. They continued to do this experiment. They brought it above 30 to 35. There was a huge flash, and a lot of them exited the room in an emergency evacuation corridor. After that, they came back in, and they did a roll call. Even though the power in the room was out, they have codes, and they call out kind of like you would in class. And the only one that was not reporting was the father of that family. When they went to check with emergency lighting, in the seat was this father's, who's a lady, so her jewelry, her clothing, her pass, but she was not there. And what they've done is, if you think of our universe as one page on a book, what CERN's desire is to put a small hole in the page to see what's on the other side, or what's on the other page of this closed book. What they did is they opened up a portal to something that they have no freaking idea of what they were doing at all. And
wait a second. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like somebody blew up a balloon and then popped it with a needle. And then now all of a sudden it blew up in their face. It looks like almost, you look at the photograph and it almost looks like a still frame. You know how when you slow motion a balloon popping, that's what it almost looks like to me.
They fractured the surface of the next page.
You know, this is breaking news right here at Third Phase of Moon, and F1's breaking it down quite well. You know, people need to find out what's going on. People say that HARP is over. HARP is over. They're not doing HARP anymore, but CERN is they're still active, and they're capturing these particles at 1 million times per second, and they're trying to play with God's particles. And you know what? In a way, you know, I love science. And they got to break down things. If they're not going to share the free energy and they got that in a lockbox, then scientists got to figure out another way. And maybe this is one way of finding out that paradigm of free energy. But they're not we put billions of dollars into this thing. But what's a payback? There's no really payback yet.
The problem with the scientists, though, in this case, is that they are the head of their class. And scientists in general don't accept proven, even videos in ufology and everything else that we've constantly tried to put in their face. The reason why scientists don't acknowledge, most of them don't acknowledge ufology and things like this. They do, but they don't go into it, is because it's out of their hands. Scientists like to have all factual, diagrammable, written information. And so that if you take that away from them, then they have no job. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it's like if you wanted to patent something that you figured out how to defy gravity, and it basically changes the world, and you want to go patent this technology, the patent office, if they can't understand the technology behind it, because their scientists are baffled, and if you can't explain it to them on how it works, they're not going to give you the patent. It's just how it breaks down. So that's why we don't have these breakthrough interventions. What they need to do is put out they need to put a $10 billion reward or award. Give somebody $10 billion to figure out the energy problem. I don't care how much money it takes. It's still going to save the planet. And at least things will be a lot better. We'll be able to travel a lot quicker. We're greedy in our own sense.
They lose control. They lose control, Blake, and that's why they don't do that. Is because think about it. How much they hate solar energy because it's cut people's electrical bills, and the government gets a percentage of all of that. The reason why they took all the gold, and the reason why people in the know knew that gold was going to go to the outrageous price that it was, is because they're taking all that money and they are putting it into these underground shelters for the very rich because they know what's coming. They know that every certain amount of years that a comet comes and collides with us. It's already going to come in the next 10 days, supposedly around January 1st. I believe it's UB10 or what the name of it is going to pass on a very close vector between the sun and the earth. That's what's already distorting the sunsets and causing the earth to wobble. That's what's causing the planets to go to one side and open up basically a hole. And what's other thing is I found very interesting is that, when they opened up this portal, they saw demons in their facility, and they were having all kinds of really weird experiences. And I think that's really funny because if you think about it, when Carrie went to Antarctica, it was, in my opinion, to hand deliver the Ark of Gabriel, which has been stated to be a weapon that would be effective against the bad extraterrestrials or whatever the hell they are. And it was kind of weird when the earthquakes with the lights above New Zealand a month ago happened after Kerry went there, after he was basically kicked out of Antarctica. It was like a statement saying, we will destroy your planet unless you give us that ark back. Interesting.
There's a lot of action going on over there. And then Buzz Aldrin just visited the region, and he basically almost died. From what cause, we're not exactly sure. They medevaced him out of there, took him to New Zealand as well. So maybe if you're a politician, you might want to avoid the Antarctic because it'd be detrimental to you. Anyway, especially if you're trying to cover up what they want to get out, in my opinion. Wow, that was F1 with some breaking news. And this is what I like. This is why we do Third Phase of Moon twice a week now, because you just never know. There's so much evidence and information coming out from around the world. We got to get it out there. Okay, we got time for a couple more callers. But before we do that, let's take a break. Everybody, hold on tight. This is Third Phase of Moon. You just never know what you're going to hear. Quite amazing. All right. Time is short. So let's bring in the callers. Let's bring them on. Everybody get ready. We're getting to callers. 770, you're live, Third Phase Moon. Thanks for waiting.
I guess this is me, right?
Absolutely. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right, man. Where are you calling in from, sir?
I'm calling from Hampton, Georgia.
Hampton, Georgia. Right. You got something you want to share tonight?
I do. I actually got several stories back when I was younger.
All right, cool. What's your name, sir?
My name's Patrick.
All right, Patrick. Well, welcome to Third Phase. Appreciate you calling in, and let's hear it.
All right. Well, back when I want to say I was like 14, maybe 13 or 14 years old. I was riding with my sister, and it was me and my cousin were riding in the back of it was a Ford van, and we were sitting in the back looking out the back window, and I saw what we thought was a searchlight, because this was like back in the 80s, and we at first thought it was a searchlight, but there was only one of them in the sky, and it was kind of cloudy, and this was at night. Well, this thing followed us for at least 5 to 7 miles. And after a while, me and my cousin both were talking about it, and we were thinking, okay, maybe this is not a searchlight, because we never saw a beam of light going up to the clouds. We just seen the light going through and back and forth, following us down the road, and which I thought was pretty interesting. But I got like several different little instances like that. As I was coming up, as a kid, before that instance, me and my sister, I was real young, and I remember seeing a little what looked like, the little Simon video, like a little game thing you play, it had lights up the different colors. Well, this craft was right above me and my sister, and we were both looking at it, wondering what it was, but that's exactly what it looked like. Now, I'm trying to put all these in, together for you, the different things
I got
I saw. Now, recently, I want to say within the past, 5 years or so, I'm really good with electronics and stuff, so I like to tinker around with stuff. Well, I was fixing a game controller, and I was working on this thing probably late into the night. It was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning or so, and I decided to wrap it up, because I was kind of fixing it and making it, everything work good on it. Well, I used a plate to mark where I had all my parts on this plate, and I have like a little work desk that I put it on, and I put like my screws together. I put all the little intricate parts of this game controller on this on this plate. Well, I went to bed that night, and this was kind of scary in a way. It was kind of like I'm not sure if it was like an alien thing or not, but when I woke up the next morning, this was what's really weird. When I woke up in the next morning, this plate was completely upside down. And that whole night that I was working on it, I felt like something was with me, or either watching me or something, but I really don't know.
That's scary, man. That's kind of, that could freak you out, right?
Yeah, it did. Well, I came in, I was going to continue to kind of work on this thing, and I came in and I looked at this plate, and it's completely upside down on my desk. And I'm like, who would have done this, But every little part that I had separated.
This is kind of reminding me of the movie E.T. a little bit, where E.T. was playing with the little electronic gadgets that Elliot owned back in the day. Does this kind of ring a bell to you at all?
Yeah. But every little piece I had on this plate was dropped directly below. Like somebody had grabbed everything on this plate in the middle of the night and flipped it upside down. And everything that was on this plate I fell directly below, where I had it sitting on the plate. It wasn't repositioned or anything like that. It was in the exact same position. So when I saw it, I of course I had a cringing nerve feel, like, what did this? You know, how did this happen?
Yikes.
And yeah, I mean, I don't really know if it was like an alien thing or not, but after that, I've had another instance to where I was sleeping at night, and I kind of briefly woke up in the morning. You know, I kind of sleep in a dark room, and all I can see pretty much is like I got a little light on my TV, you know, when it's off, and my cable box, and, you know, my stereo and stuff like that. It has a little standby light that's on. Well, I kind of woke up in the middle of the night, like something woke me up. And I kind of turned to look, and it's kind of dark in my room, but I seen a couple of bodies pass by those lights in my room. And it startled me at first, but as soon as I saw them, it's like whatever it was knew that I woke up and put me right back to sleep. And that's all I remember of that. Now, like I said, I really don't know if they're like alien instances or not. Like if they're like visiting me, you know, at times, and I kind of have a feeling like somebody's watching me at times and stuff. But you know, I'm not sure. But I just thought I would share those little stories with you.
Well, you know what, man? I appreciate the call in. And yeah, I got a feeling we're all being watched, and it's not always by Big Brother or whatever. They've already said that they're watching us through our computers and our phones and all that stuff. That's public knowledge. But those guys up there, them, the aliens, are they watching us? Oh, yes, they are. They are. The evidence is overwhelming, people. Overwhelming. All right. We got time for maybe one more call. Let's get to it. 649. How you doing tonight? Where are you calling in from? What's your name?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Hello? Did you hear me?
Hello. It's Nick Gray here.
Patrick?
It's Nick here.
Yeah, I got you. Hello.
Nick
How you doing?
Gray.
Good. Where are you calling in from, sir? What's your name?
Good. Nick Gray.
Oh, okay, Nick. How you doing, Nick? Well, you've been
Nick
trying
Gray
to call on the show. Yeah,
Good,
Nick
man.
Gray
Good.
from New Zealand.
Oh.
Okay, great. You made it in.
Wait.
You made it to third phase of moon.
Good.
We might have a little delay.
Hey, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I'll go through the story, eh? Anyway, so this actually happened about 10 years ago. I was over in Taiwan, right, at the time. Do you remember the time when Mars was really close to Earth? You could actually see it with your bare eye. So we were up there on the balcony, right? And we knew it was Mars because of we're pretty sure it was anyway. So we were looking at this we thought it was Mars, and it was different to all the other things in the sky. So we were like watching it, right? And there were two stationary. So I didn't pay nothing. I paid nothing attention to them at the time, but there were two stationary lights, like just sitting there, like just above that we thought what was planet Mars, right? Just above it, and then all of a sudden, these two lights moved around the planet, like from left to right, around it, and just disappeared. And yeah, to this day, I still feel, it must have been under some control. Like there's no mirrors in space or anything, right? There were two of them, so that counts out the possibility of like a shooting star. And of course, there's no sound, right? Because they look exactly like stars. So what do you think? What do you reckon I saw there? Well, I'm pretty sure it was a UFO. Well, two UFOs.
Yeah, you didn't know what it was. I can't tell you what it was. What you're describing to me doesn't make any sense to me if we're going to compare it to any kind of FAA regulated aircraft in the skies. Man, you saw something that we can't explain. Whether it's extraterrestrial or one reverse engineered technology, I'm not exactly sure. We got a lot of calls. Wow, we got callers calling in. Somebody needs to take that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people calling into third phase.
Just one other thing I like to say about it.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Sorry about that. Just people are calling in.
I'm still on here.
Go ahead.
There's just, they were like, they're like two. One other thing I like to say about it, it was like, it seemed as though that it was very far away. It was like very far, like close to the planet. Whatever, that was close to the planet. It wasn't close to, from the distance. So this thing, it must have been huge, right? Whatever it was gigantic because it felt as though, and it felt like it was like right next to the planet, man.
So this thing must have been, this thing, maybe it was a few hundred miles wide, whatever this thing is. Are you saying it's that big or even larger?
I think it was gigantic, man, because it was like, I thought they were stars, right? They was totally stationary, not moving at all. And then both of them moved sequentially around the planet, disappeared, gone, just vanished. And there were two of them. And they must have been big, right?
Wow. Yeah, it sounds massive. It wouldn't surprise me that there are starcraft almost the size of planets. And, this isn't science fiction. If there are civilizations around 5 billion years ago, they're way ahead of us as far as technology. So we can't even imagine what kind of starcraft these guys are, exploring the galaxies, exploring the universe, basically. How fast can they jump from one place to another? I got a feeling it's faster than light speed. I got a feeling that there's things that we can't even figure out, just like F1 was saying. If we don't know what's going on, it's hard to explain. Let's see, we got more calls. Hold on.
So, So they're like,
go ahead.
Right?
Go ahead.
And they're sitting there and I disappeared. But anyway, I sent you a link to my Third Phase of the Moon tribute video, and I'll post it on the chat, if anyone wants to check it out. I draw a few alien pictures in that, just for a hobby. I might make another one. But anyway, I love your channel, and maybe you need to talk to someone else.
Okay, hold on, Nick. Nick, you were in New Zealand, right? There's an earthquake there recently, right? F1 wants to maybe ask you a couple questions.
Yeah,
Let me get
right.
F1 on the phone, and he's got a couple questions for you. Go ahead, F.
Yeah, hey, how you doing, brother? Cheers. I really want to ask you a question because I've been in New Zealand. I've experienced New Zealand people, and they're basically pretty freaking honest, and they'll put it right in your face. And I'm kind of curious as to what was the reaction of the New Zealand public when they all knew, because my experience with New Zealand being part of the Navy, that when we pulled into Wellington and Christchurch and Auckland, they knew that we had nuclear magazine and they let us know. So taking that experience into play here, what were the New Zealand people's reaction knowing Carrie came there, and then you guys had the strange lights in the sky that were very freaking bizarre, and the next night, the same time actually, you had the earthquake? What is the reaction from the Kiwis? Right.
Yeah, so really the mainstream media, there's nothing about the lights on the mainstream media. So it was just an earthquake, it was just an earthquake, and about the politician visiting, I think that really didn't get much focus, most people were just, chilling out and relaxed. They're not, the people that I know, they're not, as much into this area as what I am. But I did do some research, and there was a whole thread. It didn't make it to the main media, but there was a whole thread of people talking about what they saw in the sky, man. So they were talking about that before that they saw the lights, because my mum experienced the earthquake, and she was like, pretty freaking out, and I was like ringing her, talking to her, and she said, I can't talk to you, because she was ringing me, running out of credit. I said, I'll ring you back anyway, because she was freaking out. And like the fairies, one interesting thing about my mum mentioned, the fairies from Picton that travel between the South and North Island, where the cars jump on, it had malfunctioned, defunctioned. My mum reckons that's possibly because of some of the UFOs, man.
Right.
That might have been what it was.
Right.
Another thing,
well, did you ever
the thread
see
that I was
the
reading as
videos
well,
of how
many
high
people
school were?
didn't have the cameras out or anything. Say again, sorry?
No, I have a friend, Gavin, that lives there in Ragland, actually, who works for Billabong, and he sent me some video that was crazy, and the scientists all say that, oh, those are earthquake lights. BS, because if you look at the videos, there were purple, blue, yellow, green, huge, like there was an interplanetary war going on. And they basically, that's funny, the whole correlation of how Kerry got kicked out of Antarctica, went to New Zealand, and as soon as he got there, this happened. And you have to admit, man, that New Zealand is way bigger than people think. It's not just some small little rock. It is a huge place. And you don't usually have earthquakes, especially in that location like you did then. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you agree that was rather abnormal timing and very coincidental, and that nothing got said about the lights that lit up the whole freaking sky?
Yep, that is extremely abnormal. I've never seen it before, heard of it before, but my mum was there, and she felt it, and heaps of people saw it, totally abnormal. And is it just a coincidence that he arrives here and all that stuff happens, and he's going to the South Pole to check out those alien pyramid things sticking out of the ice and coming back, and then all of a sudden this happens, and then CERN starts up as well. CERN's doing shit as well, so what's going on? I don't know.
Well, Nick, I gotta thank you for. It is strange, and Nick, man, it's amazing. You're calling in all the way from New Zealand, and we are here in Hawaii, broadcasting live, and all people want to do is talk about the unknown. People have experiences; they want to share it, and I can't believe I can't get to everybody in one night. It's unfortunate, but we're going to be back this Friday. We'll be broadcasting Friday live again. So everybody, it's going to be at the exact same time. So join us for that if you got something you want to share to the world live. Then people could call from around the world. It's quite amazing, and it's amazing. Nick, appreciate it. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, man.
All right, so that was Monday night, Third Phase of Moon Radio. Quite amazing. Everybody stay tuned to Third Phase of Moon on our YouTube channel for daily updates in regards to the UFO phenomenon happening 24/7. You never know who's going to capture a UFO. We got a couple billion, maybe 3 billion people with cell phones and cameras capturing in HD 4K. There's going to be so many videos out there. Coming in 2017, it's going to blow your mind. And we're going to be keeping an eye on Trump. What's he going to be doing about this? Is he going to go pay a visit to Area 51? In my opinion, he should. And he should beat the Obama administration to the punch. I got a feeling the Obama administration is mute about this. They're over it. They're not going to do anything else. They're done. So, everybody stay tuned. Again, for Third Phase of Moon on Friday, we'll be broadcasting live. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies, everybody. We're not alone.